You want to start at the first, everyone remembers their first joint. You remember yours? Well, first joint was Richie's brother between private 7th grade and junior, going into back to public in Ponce, junior high, and actually, yeah, there's nothing to that other than his dad was smart. In order to find out, you know, you back in the early 70s, you used Visine and maybe cologne and all that. His dad knew to smell our fingers. What a way to get busted. You smoke pot, your fingers are gonna reek of herb, like a roach or something. And that's another thing. I argue with that neighbor next door, and he's an old freak that has a legal medical marijuana certificate in Miami, and thinks you can get high, or thought until I corrected him, you can get high off of buds. You cannot. You have to cook marijuana. Even the edibles are cooked. You smoke, whatever. So let's jump from there. It did lead to heroin, by the way. About 10 years. I've been busted every decade for cocaine possession. It looks like I'm an habitual user that only gets busted every decade. So 16 was marijuana bust. First D. Oh no, that was actually. I had a DWI, they called them, not DUI then, driving while intoxicated. I'm selling this guy peyote. A guy graduated law school, had a gorgeous cherry red Mustang fastback, 60 like something. He throws me the keys. I don't even have a license. I just sold him a pound full of peyote buttons, which are extremely rare, especially nowadays. Well, in Dade County they are. I don't know about the desert. Anyway, that's the peyote, is the cactus, the hallucinogenic cactus. If you read Carlos Castaneda, but and I'm on, I think PCP or tick, what they called it at the time. Anyway, I was on a beer run, crashed, got arrested, but the marijuana bust that led to, I went to a daycare. It's still around, except the one I went to where I was tripping on my counselor's birthday. In drug rehab, daycare. Over there where your family owned 2 houses on South Dixie in 98, 99. There used to be a house, a 2 old barn-looking house there. Or it wasn't not a barn, it was a nice, like, Georgia-looking type house. It burned down. But I went there for daycare because of the pending the court for marijuana bust back then. I was 16 years old, I believe, 19, so it would have been 1975, 76. I'm born in 60, so it's easy to remember my escapades, or either I go by the ship that year, it gives me my memory aid, or whatever, I remember. However, henceforth, 6 score and evermore. And I did score that day, but I crashed and go to rehab. Well, because the place burned down. What happened is we're selling hash, and I ran away again, basically. I was a runaway, like Joan Jett. They got one in the north called, called the same thing. Here's Help with the hands. That's their new logo. So here's Help. And back then it was tough, boys and girls. I mean, like the hot seat, like I'm sitting in now and getting interviewed. I'm not very comfortable, awkward with this. Because who does it, But they would break you down to build you back up. So it was like a lot of things, I think, as far as the mind is considered, But if you're going to see a shrink, maybe you should get your head examined. But so I got to go to the living because we got busted. Another thing that you would never hear of now, narcotic implements. They raided this house of a guy named Ben. Well, I feel like I shouldn't say names, but anyway, it's Ben. He had hair down to his ass back then. I thought he was cool as shit. His mom, he was older, of course. I'm hanging around the older boys. His mom's name was Apple, and she smoked a cigar and wore hats like this, matter of fact. Smoked a cigar. She smoked a pipe, and her name was Apple, so that was pretty weird. They lived up at Tiger Tail in the Grove. They raided that house, so I got busted for for paraphernalia, basically. Seeds, all these pipes, like a concert kid of the 70s, you know. And you think you clean, weed is legal now. It's uncanny, right? It's like it's utterly ridiculous what a modern man has to go through to get a piece of ass. People are still serving time for a drug that's basically legal in the United States and just about everywhere else. Or they don't give a shit anyway. But decrim may be normal out of business because they don't need them. But everyone's making trillions off of growing the shit. Maybe people that really do appreciate. High Times used to have a centerfold, you know, like a pinup of buds because we appreciate them, you know, really good photography. And here I am expounding and embellishing on marijuana when I really am not a pot smoker. I bought it, but 5 finger ounce in the 70s, remember? That was $35 for Colombian. And Miami's always been pot and cocaine, and now it is pretty much pot and cocaine. Pills were a rare item. You could get them. Just the prices switched. Pot went exorbitant and by the gram, and coke went cheap, and quality went down. So I'm in the north. That's when I got busted for that. In between waiting for court pending on the marijuana bust and the marijuana bust, by the way, happened because I was on some pills from Ralph's house, mother's house. Went in their medicine cabinet when I'm a kid and was wandering home, stumbling home. You know, high as hell, and some old lady had called the cops on me because I think I stopped to take a piss under her window. And so the cops met me on the street, and I had it very well hidden. The lid sticking out. Remember lid? That's a term for just before an ounce. It's sticking out of my top pocket like a tube snake of marijuana. And this is commercial regs, mind you, probably regular, like, you know. When I skipped junior high school and we had an 18-foot lightning. This is a good piracy story. When I was, whatever age you are when you're in junior high, around this time, matter of fact, sailed to Elliott Key, skipping school, junior high, and at Elliott Key there was 5 pounds, what they call square grouper now, stacked up against a telephone pole over there. Or not a telephone pole. They don't have. What was that, man? Some kind of power pole or whatever. Pole.
Do you have any artworks from this time?
I'm needing a creative outlet out of boredom and fucking the persecution of a rehab and shit. Yeah, I did. What made me want to write Stargazed? Or, well, most of those works at that time, even some of the drawings. And there was a guy that was so jealous because he was kind of a half-ass artist too. At the time, we're kids. He, I don't remember his name. But anyway, he was jealous because my shit was even better then. Anyway, the doodling, I wish I could it's been pilfered, stolen, ripped, whatever. Gone. Because a lot of time has transpired. So at 16, yeah, self-trained. I didn't go to art school other than, I think I did my educational background. Art history counts, I guess, but I did use my paper, remember, as the worst way to write a critique, and I fucking didn't slander Mondrian. Called the Phantom, 267-foot Baron Quintin pirate schooner. Ow! They offered me a job, Nas. Yeah, you know why I couldn't take it? The day we got off the ship, I wasn't signing articles or nothing. I was a passenger. And I drank all the Bloody Mary. They used to put pictures of Bloody Marys out in the morning. Anyway, the day after we disembarked in Miami, I was registered for the University of Miami as a student. So I couldn't exactly jump and sail away into the sunset. You know what I'm saying, girl? You feel me? Ow! Every picture tells a story.